Hello there, I'm Mrs. Groovy Groves and I'm here to help you with the Lesson 5 practice problems. 1A, match each diagram with a description and an equation. Alright, so let's take a look and start with which one is smaller, y or x. Y is definitely smaller, so let's see how many boxes has been cut up into. Like right now you see there's 5 boxes and y is 3 out of the 5 boxes. So what I'm going to write is I'm going to say y is 3/5 of x. Now please don't forget that you can translate is into equals and of into multiplication. So we're going to say y equals 3/5. Of means times, so we're going to say times x. And 3/5 x, if you divide 3 divided by 5, that ends up being y equals 0.6x. So for A, it matches up to number 3. And if you think about this right here, if you think of y as 3/5 of x, that means, what happened to y? Did it experience an increase of 2/3 of 5/6, or did this experience a decrease of 2/5 or a decrease of 5/11? Well, if you go from 5/5 to 3/5, you are decreasing by 2/5. So C is the correct answer for matching it up. Now on B, let's talk about B. As you can see, x is smaller than y, okay? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's been chopped into 11 pieces, and of those 11, x is 6 out of the 11 pieces. So let's start off by saying x is 6/11 of y. Okay, and we all know that is means equals and of means to multiply, so this is times y. And we all know that the y equals equation is the preferred one, so I'm going to take the reciprocal. Y equals 11/6x. So if you divide 11 divided by 6, you should get 1.83. 1.83 with a bar on the 3 only, x. So that means this matches to number 1. So we have, and if you think about this from right here, y equals 11/6x. If you go from, if you go from 6/11 to 11/6, oops. Sorry. If you're looking at it from y equals 11/6x, that means that it was an increase because we had to start off with 6/6, and from 6/6 to go to 11/6, that means it had to have increased by 5/6. So this one is an increase of 5/6. I feel like sometimes sometimes these activities are a little weird. So B and 1 are the correct answers to this. Okay, on B, don't worry about B where it says draw a diagram for one of the unmatched equations. We're going to pass on that. Number 2, at the beginning of the month, there were 80 ounces of peanut butter in the pantry. Ooh, I love peanut butter. Since then, the family ate 0.3 of the peanut butter. Okay, how many ounces of peanut butter are in the pantry now? Ooh, okay, so it is very important that you understand that 100% as a decimal is 1.00. When they talk about 0.3, that means 0.3. If you want to change 0.3 to a percent, I times this by 100, and that means 0.3 is 30%. Okay? So if the family ate 30%, then what's remaining? Hold on a second. I'm going to line up my decimals better, okay? 1.00. And I could put 0.30, you know? Can make it easier. So, again, if you have 100% minus 30%, then, I mean, that would be 70%, right? And if you think about it in terms of decimal, that would be 0.7 or 0.70, however you want to think about it, okay? So basically, there's 70% of 80. So let's do the math, okay? I have 70% of 80. 70% as a decimal is 0.7, and of means to multiply. So 0.7 times 80 is 56, okay? There are 56 ounces of peanut butter in the pantry, okay? Again, they ate 30% and 70% would be left over. So which expression represents what we're talking about here? If you have 0.7 times 80, we already talked about that would be 56. So this is a correct answer. 0.3 times 80, well, that's not it. You would, but if you do 0.3 times 80, you'd get 24. If you have 80 minus 0.3, you'd have 79.7. And if you have 1 plus 0.3, you'd have 1.3 times 80. You have 1.3 times 80. You'd have 104. So the only answer was A. Moving on. Number 3. On a hot day, a football team drank an entire 50-gallon cooler of water and half as much again. How much water did they drink? Okay, they drank 50-gallon cooler and half as much again. Okay, you guys did really well on this one previous activity. If you think about it, what's half of 50? Half of 50 is 25. So that means they drank the original amount of 50 plus half. So that means they had to have drank 75 gallons. All right, B. Jada has 12 library books checked out and Han has 1/3 less than that. How many books does Han have checked out? Okay, so we have less than that. Okay, this is like those activities that we were doing where Jada is the OG and Han is the new. So if Han, okay, let's do this. Oops, I want to start with Jada. Jada has 12 books checked out, and Han has 1/3 less than that. So to have 1/3 less than that, it would be 12 minus 12 times 1/3. 1/3 of 12. Okay, so what's 1/3 of 12? Basically, you would have 12 divided by 3, right? And that would be 4. So you would have 12 minus 4, and 12 minus 4 is 8. So he would have 8 books. Okie dokes. All right, number 4. If x represents a positive number, select all the expressions whose value is greater than x. Oh, this is very interesting. Okay, so we want to pick that it has to be greater than x. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. If I have 1, I'm going to change this 1 to 4/4 because I can. And 4/4 minus 1/4, well, that would be 3/4. So I have 3/4 x. If you have 3/4 of x, that means it's a smaller amount because it's 3/4. It's not even, it's less than 1 because 3/4 is 0.5 and 100% as a decimal is 1.00. So the next one, 7/8 x, if you divide 7 by, okay, here, I'm going to backtrack real quick. I have 3/4 x, that is equivalent to 0.75 x. 7/8 x is 0.875 x. So again, that is less than 1. Okay, it's very important that you understand that 100% as a decimal is 1.00 or simply 1. So on B, if I have 1 plus 1/4, that would be 5/4, correct? So I have 5/4 x. 5/4 or 5/4, really what that would be is 1.25 x. So that means it's over 100%. So this B is definitely an answer. And if you have 9 divided by 8, 9 divided by 8 would be 1.125x. And again, 1.125 is greater than 1. So that means these two are answers that are greater than x. Okay, number 5. A person's resting heart rate is typically between 60 and 100 beats per minute. Okay. Noah looks at his watch and counts 8 heartbeats in 10 seconds. Okay, so is his heart rate typical? All right, well, we need to calculate his heart rate for 60 seconds. So if he has, like, let's do a little chart here. We can say seconds and heartbeats. And in 10 seconds, his heart beats 8, okay? 8 heartbeats. So if we're taking this to 60, we could do this. We could just do this, and this is a times by 6. So I'm going to times by 6 over here, and I would get 48. So 48 is not in this range of 60 to 100. So is his heart rate typical? I would say no, because it's lower than the range. Because it's lower than the range. I mean, you can say it however you want, because it's lower than the range of 60 to 100 heartbeats. However you want to say it is fine with me. So on B, it says write an equation for H, the number of times Noah heartbeats at this rate in M minutes. All right, so okie dokes. So say, for example, we have this. We got minutes and we got heartbeats. So in 1 minute, his heart beat 48, okay? So remember, we got M for minutes and H for heartbeats. We know that K is 48. So remember that if this is M, we do M times the K value, which is 48. So that would be 48M. And also, you can just circle this and point to the variable on top. The final equation would be H is equal to 48M. All right, moving on. We have one more problem to do. Okay, find 1% of 680. Okay, to convert a percent to a decimal, I'm going to do 1 divided by 100. So if I have 1 divided by 100, I would get 0.01. Remember that of means to multiply. Every time you see of, it's multiply, multiply, multiply. So 0.01 times 680, and that would be 6.8. Just going to put that right there. Now 23% of 680, so I'm going to do 23 divided by 100 to get the decimal, which is 0.23 times 680, because again, of means to multiply, so 0.23 times 680 is 156.4. And we already know that 23% as a decimal was 0.23. Well, we're going to do times 410. And 0.23 times 410 is 94.3. Alrighty, that's it. You're done. I'm done. I hope I've helped you. This is Mrs. Groovy Grove signing out. Have a wonderful day.